This is going to be a video review of the Malibu Kayaks X-Factor. I've had my X-Factor for about a year and a half now, and I'm quite happy with it. And I thought I'd go over a few details for anyone who might be considering buying one. Let's start at the front end here. First of all, they've got a very strong and firm grip there to grab a hold of. It always stays in the upright position, so it's easy to get your hands in if you're turned over and trying to climb back in or grab a hold of it. It works great. One of the things I really like about this kayak is the front hatch. It is massive. You could fit a small child in here if you needed to, but not that you're going to do that, but it's just got lots and lots of room. It's got the webbing up here. You could pack something in. Also, I'll sometimes stick my paddle up in here when I need a place to secure it temporarily, so that works good for that. This right here is a great thing, a seat for a small child facing backwards, and our daughter goes with me sometimes, and she's about 9 years old, and that works great for her. It's the perfect size, and I can keep an eye on her, so that works great. Our son, who's 13 now, he gets a little big for that, tends to weigh down the front end, so we'll put him in the back. And that works pretty good too. You can put actually an adult in the back, put a couple of stadium cushions in the back section, and have someone facing rearward, and that works great. It balances out the kayak quite well. So that's a wonderful thing there. I really like that. It comes with adjustable footrests. Here I have, this is a track system I put in. This is aftermarket, as is the anchor trolley. So you have to put those in yourself. Got a couple of rod holders up front, so keep the rods up there in good shape. This right here is one of my favorite things about this kayak. It's the multi-use hatch that they have, and it's different in that it doesn't open up into the rest of the kayak. It's its own separate compartment, which means you can do all kinds of things with it. It works good if you have you can put a cooler in there, use it for a cooler. I throw my anchor in there a lot. I've always needed a place to secure the anchor when I'm going through the surf, if I turn over, so I know that anchor's not going to hit me in the head or not going to anchor off or anything like that. So I always throw my anchor in there. That works great. I have in mind the kit that they sell separately for the live well, and I forget how much it was actually, but that's worked great. I've got the switch here. Flip the switch. It starts filling up with water, and you keep your fish in there or your bait, whatnot. So this is just a wonderful little hatch right there. The pump and everything goes here, and it's got a fitting. It's molded into the kayak for the fitting on the bottom, so it's not protruding out where it's going to take a hit or anything like that. And so they've actually designed the kayak around this system. So big fan of that as well. I don't use it all the time, but when I do, it's really nice. Only negative on that is the switch. I put it where they say to put it. I guess you could put it anywhere, but I tend to bump that, and every once in a while I won't be wanting to have a live well, but that thing will fill up with water before I know it, and then I've got a live well even though I don't want it. But anyway, that's just a minor deal, and that could be arranged by putting the switch possibly in a less accessible position. One other thing I really like about this is it has 8 scupper holes in the main compartment here. The kayak I had before this only had 1, and it would fill up with water, and it would take forever to empty out. But this one drains pretty well. Another thing I really like about it is it has the hatches are raised up from the floor, so that if you do take on a little water, the hatches aren't sitting in water as it drains, which helps minimize the amount of leakage that goes in around the edges. Same thing on this hatch. It's got a little lip down here, so you can take a little water in, and even without that seal, it's still not going to leak a whole bunch of water in there. So that's another very good feature. This hatch in the middle empties into the main body of the kayak, and it's got lots of room in here. I'll put tackle boxes and rods and gaff. You can see I got a bunch of stuff in there right now, but you can fit a lot of stuff up in here. So lots of storage, really like that. It did come with the little baskets. each compartment came with a basket, so I've got 3 baskets that came with it. I just put one in the back one, is the only one I actually use, but there did come one for the front, so that's another option. This compartment back here is not as accessible because it's behind the seat, but it is, you can get to it. And I usually keep my battery from my sonar and for the live well system back here as well, so that's something I don't need access to real often. I keep my flares and safety kit and that kind of thing. Things I don't need real often, but I want to have with me, I keep in there. Got 2 more rod holders back here. And then in the back, it's got another big section back here for storage. And yeah, you can put the stadium cushions. We set 2 stadium cushions here, and it works really nice for someone sitting facing rearward. And so you can put a person back here, you can put a cooler, whatever you want. It did come with the webbing here as well. I just don't have that on there at the moment. And then in the back, we've got another good heavy duty grip and our drain plug. It also is already has holes drilled and mounted for a rudder system if you wanted to do that. And it also comes set up for a Lowrance transducer for a sonar. So I've got one installed, but it has a place already mounted on the bottom, so it made mounting that very easy, which was very nice. And it's just been a great kayak. I've really enjoyed it. It's been quite stable. I haven't had much problem at all with flipping over or anything like that. It is heavy. It's a big kayak, so it takes a little more doing than others to get out, but that's the price you paid for being able to carry a lot of stuff and to have stability. So it's been a good kayak. I've really been happy with it. I would definitely highly recommend it to anybody who is wanting a kayak to do offshore. In rougher conditions, it's probably overkill if you're just wanting to fish in a lake or calmer waters, but for rougher waters, for the ocean, it works great, and I would highly recommend it.